If you're new here, my name is Naima. I'm the founder of the Academy for Womanhood. We are on the cutting edge of power for chosen people. I'm not another Black woman on the internet talking about being chosen and they're after us. And so we got to put on our protection and cloak ourselves because they coming after us. I'm not another spiritual person, and I am deeply spiritual. That is not at all an attack on spirituality. I'm saying this is not kindergarten, TikTok, hashtag witch video. I am organizing so that we are in the flesh, touching each other, feeling what we are all avoiding so that we get to the membrane of our real power. I feel you, smell you. You feel me, smell me. We have the conversations that we have never had before. We feel each other in ways we have never had before. And we agree to stay in the room, in the relationship, so we can uncover the gems that we lack experience with holding. The gems, the gold, the wisdom, the knowledge, the power that we lack experience with holding. I'm organizing, and I invite you to come in and help me. If you are done with the fear-based, isolating content and conversations about the way we need to hide and be scared and cloak, because when the truth is, there is a protection inside of the power that you're avoiding. There is a wisdom, knowledge, direction inside of the very power that you fear, that you have yet to learn to navigate the terror that you feel on the way to your raw, real, undiluted power. This is for chosen melanin-dominant men and women. So, therefore, we will make mistakes. This is unknown terrain. We will make mistakes. We will look like fools. It comes with the territory. Men, you have yet to be in intimate relationship with an activated, chosen woman over time who's navigating the membrane power that only a chosen melanin-dominant woman can traverse. Similarly, melanin-dominant women who are chosen, you have yet to be in deep, intimate relationship with the power that only an activated melanin-dominant chosen man can traverse. This is our assignment now. We will make mistakes. We will look like fools. We will feel bad. We will want to run and hide and get under the covers and go attach ourselves to the normal people because the turbulence of navigating the power that only we have. Therefore, you enter this domain with this knowing, with this agreement to never, ever, ever, ever abandon yourself, abandon me, or abandon any of us. Otherwise, you will live the existence that you're very familiar with, circling and going nowhere, circling and going nowhere, having sex, nutting, climaxing, and still starving. Thank you, darling. Appreciate it. Nutting, ejaculating on her face, on her back, him making your legs weak, breaking your back, and you're still starving. Because until a chosen, activated, melanin-dominant man plugs into, and until a chosen, activated, melanin-dominant woman receives, we're going in circles to nowhere. I am very sensitive. You are very sensitive. So, because in that sensitivity, when our emotions get going, so much of the activity or the backlog that's in the way of the purity comes out of our mouth, and it can intercept the connection because the receiver, so if I'm talking to her, him, and all the backlog is coming out and all this stuff that I've been holding for years is coming out so I can get to the purity. The problem is on the way to the purity, other people are getting hurt, and they often typically abandon ship, and then we don't get anywhere. Why am I saying this? Because yesterday I went live and I was talking, the topic was about how repressed power, how repressed raw power, you can call it life force, you can call it kundalini, repressed life force, no matter how much you try to religify it and legislate it and shame it, no matter how much you try to push power, it doesn't go away. What it does is it gets pushed down and then it comes out in so many ways. And yesterday I talked about one of the ways that it comes out is manic depression, manic episodes, PTSD, bipolar, hyperneuroticism, eating a lot, shopping a lot, just doing anything to keep the power down because the Bible say, because the shame. And then I talked about how it comes out with massive child molestation in Catholicism because of the heavy, heavy, heavy shame and the thick, thick, thick dogma, particularly of Catholicism, and why there's so much child molestation. And the Catholic Church pays over $1 billion a year to get away with molesting children. It's sort of like how, Trump was convicted of, sexual assault or rape, and folks are like, yeah, but he's the president. So that's the same frequency. We know he's molesting children, but, we know all these preachers and whatever they call them in the Catholic Church, we know that they're molesting boys and girls, but they give over $1 billion a year. The kids can get therapy. We can put holy water on the children. That'll fix it. This is what happens when you dogma. Okay, this is what happens when you have scarcity-based systems that you play on human biology and human needs to get humans to attach themselves to them, feel pride about attaching themselves to these scarcity-based systems that induce separation from self. That's a whole other conversation. Separation from the pure stream of life force energy. And then on top of it, we build a society, which is what we live in now. So how we talk about how the world is sick, how men are predators, how women are losing their minds, how the children are being, set up by malevolent entities, and that it is a high responsibility to be a true human for all of us. I'm talking about melanin-dominant chosen ones in this video because of our responsibility and activation. And yesterday I got going in the live stream. So the reason why I just gave that context right there is yesterday I got going. And there's a part of me that is deeply sad, deeply sad. In all honesty, part of it feels very cruel. I did a live stream on the cruelty on both sides, melanin-dominant women, melanin-dominant men, and how a lot of us know A lot of us know that we are the problem and the solution. We know that we are the answer, and we continue to withhold. We continue to refuse. And I talked about how evil that is. And for any of us, and I'll speak for myself, really softening and dropping myself down into absolute softness and darkness, I feel so multitude of things. One, the sadness, but also the tenderness of this reality, how unknown this is for most of us. I thoroughly get and understand why we attach ourselves to these systems and hold on to them for dear life, because the biology also is getting played on. We want to belong somewhere. We want to feel a simulation of love, even if it's not the real thing. Even if we have to sacrifice our whole selves for love, we will do that. That's a heavy statement. We will sacrifice our whole selves for artificial simulations of love. The burden that it feels like, the too much, the impossibility, and even deeper. And so when any of us get going, right, because there's plenty of us who are out here sharing content, and we get going, oftentimes we're not talking from the depths of we're not talking from the depths. Like, you notice even in this time here together today, or if you saw yesterday, there's like a place of entry, and then I'll get heightened, and then I'll gather myself in the moment, and then I'll soften down, and then I can speak from a deeper place. Like, all of that is me being deliberate and conscious. And sometimes, especially the deeper we get into this, and this is why I'm bringing this up, this is why I say we will make mistakes. We will look like a fool. And this is why when we enter this, we must understand that this is happening, that we're entering a terrain that is foreign to our lived reality. It is foreign to our experience. This is not a domain you can hypothesize about, read about, think because you're looking at other people's lives, you can get it. No, this is terrain that you enter yourself in relationship with chosen melanin-dominant men and women who are choosing to do so. Now, this is an extreme gift because most of us are refusing. So to meet someone, connect with someone who's willing to do this, this is a pristine gift of extreme value. Do you get that? Let me know in the comments. Do you get that? Even if you're watching this as a replay on YouTube, do you get that? I'm sharing this because I'm so in the thick of this impossible vision and noticing myself, just noticing like where I get going, and the entering of this, just being in it so deeply and being so mindful of all the nuances of living. And this is the public stuff. The private stuff won't even get talked about publicly in detail, because private is for the people who enter that domain, for us to actually be in the relationships, because the relationships are the crucible. That's the real family. That's your spiritual family. That's your ordained family, okay? And it's all here when you just tell the truth. Your family is already here when you just tell the truth. That's it. Tell the truth about who you are, what you long for, what you're called for, and say the thing that has you feel this. So to bring this into why I even titled today's live stream, Getting Good with Terror, this is really good, is because it feels terrifying. It feels absolutely, the number of times over the years that I have done things that were absolutely terrifying to do. And the work that it took to even get up to doing the thing, and then the number of times that I didn't move through. And oh my God, when I tell you how much heavier shit feels when you don't find a way to get through. So now I just habituate. You know, I've done that enough times, coming up to the door, coming up to the door, coming up to the door, and plenty of times knowing what it's like when you don't go through. You don't go through. That's the real, okay? And then so because I've navigated this terrain so many times and gotten through enough times to the other side, I can tell you unequivocally, without doubt, that what you uncover on the other side is that the terror barrier, that's what David Nagel calls it. The terror barrier is part of how you weed out what the Bible calls the chaff, the wheat from the chaff or something. Because when you really go through the terror barriers, you shine different, you talk different, you look different, you feel different, you are different, because you've gleaned the wisdom, you've gleaned the experiential knowing that you only get when you go through the other side, versus all the other people are conceptual. The people who think they can read a book and know it, they can hear a story and know it, they can watch other people and know it. I mean, hey, if that level of knowing is sufficient for you, and it is for a lot of people feel like, oh, I already know because she told me this is what it's like, you know? And we could also equate this to the analogy of, you can watch 20 videos about some Italian city that you think is beautiful. You can watch a bunch of YouTube videos, TikToks, you can look at brochures, you can dream about it, you can talk to people who've been living in Italy for years. Or you could actually get on a plane and fly over to your favorite city in Italy and live there for 6 months. You will have an entirely different understanding, communication, knowledge, wisdom, insider, you know, even fresh stuff. Like you find out stuff that is new, okay? That is the difference between the people on this side who are very articulate. Like they are like high level spirituality. They know all the metaphors, the analogy, the meaning of the stories. You know, they just have they're like a walking encyclopedia. But then if you were to ever bring anything to them that exists on this side of the terror barrier, they could never meet you in it. They can never sit with you in it and actually hold you. They'd be learning from you the same way they've been learning, by reading and listening to stories and hearing by way of oration, okay, which is, okay, ding, ding, ding. And African spirituality, so much of how they transmit it was through oration. And oration is a reduction of pristine raw power where there is no language. There's no human language for true raw power. This is why so much of the communication was through the body, primarily the woman's body, okay? The communication was in the quiet, it was in the sound, it was in the whisper of things. It wasn't in the sitting and talking to you and let me explain to you how this works. The way this works is that the simulation and the colors and the clouds, and it works like this. And then we organize and we put two and the numbers and we put them all together and we make it make sense. Yeah, talking is low-level spirituality. Talking is low-level spirituality. A book is low-level spirituality. But that's how most people can even begin to get some knowledge. Okay? So I say all this because, for so many reasons, spoken and unspoken, that where we're going, like even what I just shared, that right there, to be in relationship with people who exist at these levels, gift, next level. We will make mistakes. It is hard. It is worth it. I did a video over the weekend about the infinity of it all, the fun of it all, the deep, deep fulfillment when you're with your real family. You all are in commitment to each other, doing this work, making love, having sex, fucking, all of it, everything. Living together, traveling together. Maybe you don't live together. Who knows, right? It organically shows you what is to be done. There's no blueprint. There's nobody telling you. You are entirely in complete coherence with the hands over your life. You are in complete coherence and listening to, because there ain't no talking. You're in complete coherence. The issue is so many of us are what the spiritual community calls disobedient. If you're done being disobedient, even the really good looking disobedience, disobedience is not just mannish, rebellious, folks just running around doing what they want to do. No, that's the easy to spot disobedience. That's the easy to spot. Disobedience is marrying that man when you know you just marrying that man to hide. Disobedience is like that. We'll leave it at that. So there's really good looking, shiny disobedience. And everybody knows when they're being disobedient. So I'm going to go now. Almost. You can get to the other side. I and others are proof that you can get to the other side. When you know it's your time. You're coded for this already. When you're chosen, melanin-dominant, you're already coded for this. So you're not, like, how do I wear? You're coded for this. Get with your people. Be willing to look like a fool. Be willing to make mistakes. Be willing to receive being held, and be willing to commit for the rest of your life. And what a relief, because it's who you are. So you can stop running from yourself for the rest of your life. Y'all take care of yourselves.